during.
Are any pictures ruined?
Only the beautiful Shawn Mendes.
Wow, he is hot. You know who I like? Lisa Rinna. I would let her wreck me.
Okay, I don't really know what to do here.
Okay, let's just move on to the Oreo scene. You're bonding, you're realizing you have a lot in common. Okay, and go.
Want to eat some Oreos? It may sound weird, but I eat them with peanut butter.
Well, F me, so do I!
You know, I want to start off this little podcast episode with a question. And that question is, what is with the appeal of Jenna Ortega? Why is she so damn likable? Why does everyone like her? Is it because she started Wednesday and she started a Netflix show that you pretend to care about? You pretend to care about the lore and the backstory behind, Wednesday Addams or the Addams family? Is that why you like her? Because she's so damn relatable in that? Even though she's been kind of critical recently of, changing the dialogue and some people accusing her of being unprofessional. Is because people like that sense of relatability to where it's like, hey, I understand the material. It's not quote unquote toxic. If I want to change something that makes no sense whatsoever. Is that why people like Jenna Ortega? Because she doesn't take people's shit. As people like to, they admire people that, say, she just doesn't care. She's so real. She's just so real. She don't take anyone's shit until she does. But other than that, do people like Jenna Ortega because she starred in your favorite A24 film? Is that why you like her? You liked her in that weirdo X film, which I have not seen. Don't know if I'm ever going to see that because it's got A24. And honestly, I'm going to say this right now. A24, I am your competition. I'm your competition. You know why? Because your films represent degeneracy, and I am against that. I'm against any form of blasphemy against Jesus Christ. I really am. And I don't like y'all because of that. I like some of your stuff, but I don't like all your stuff. I do not like that subtle acceptance of degeneracy. But back to Jenna Ortega. Why is she just so relatable? Is it because people have made so many TikToks of her? Is that why y'all like her? Y'all like the TikTok, the funny little TikToks of her, like y'all taking just clips of, her on that Hottest Ones or whatever, that weirdo goofball show of like celebrities eating hot wings. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it's so funny watching someone eat hot wings or barely eat hot wings. But Jenna Ortega is so real because she can eat the hottest wing without crying like a little bitch like Tom Holland. That was mean. That was mean. I don't hate Tom Holland, okay? We love over here. We don't hate. Try love instead of hate. All right? Back to the show. Do y'all like her because she can eat hot wings? Do you like her because she says something really funny in one show? I don't remember what it was from, but it was that one that gets clipped on TikTok so much. And it's the one where it's like, every time I smell coffee, I shit my pants. It's like, I sniff coffee, I shit my pants. It's like, okay, number one, gross. Two, that should be illegal for any woman, any TV, any media, any show, anything you watch, or even in real life. If I have to hear a woman or any girl joke about farting, pooping, anything like that, that's number one, gross. Two, should be legal, and then you should get fined for $1 million, or maybe be held in prison for life. Okay, that's. I'm gonna get off my soapbox on that. But I don't know. Maybe this should become an episode about TikTok, right? About the so-called satanic relatability of TikTok, because that's what I think it is. And I think TikTok develops this, like, it gives people this mindset of like, oh wow, so this person showed me a clip of Jenna Ortega and Wednesday. I have to like Wednesday now because it looks so funny. Everyone else is doing it. It's like no original thought. And I don't know if it has to do anything with the whole, like the big booty Latina, even though she's not one of those. She's just some Latina actress, I guess, even though a lot of shows she plays in, like that's not really an emphasis. Like they don't emphasize the Latina aspect. She's just playing like a normal character, essentially. And I think she like she's kind of self-aware about that in like a lot of the stuff she does, especially movies, and even in interviews where she, like this whole diversity stuff, where she like made a comment about how Hollywood talks about all this calculated diversity, as she claims. Calculated diversity, which I mean, she's not wrong about that. I've been saying that for a while, that it's Hollywood's intentions with casting these so-called actors of color, people of color. It's their intentions are not noble. They literally go out of their way to hire these POC actors, as they call them, to just shove them in a show, get sloppy seconds, especially comic book stuff, comic book movies, TV shows. Feige is notorious. Kevin Feige, the producer of Marvel, he is notorious for taking a character that literally no one knows about, especially the normies, because like he takes full advantage of normies, which this kind of relates to Jenna Ortega, because a lot of normies like her. Everyone's into it. She's everywhere. But same with Feige. This seems nonsensical, but there's a point that I'm making here. The whole like normie shit, where it's like you take a character that no one really has any connection to, they have no point of reference to these characters, right? And what you do is you take that character, you make sure no one like really thinks to look it up. It's like, oh, we're gonna do all the thinking for you. And they even tell the actors that play these characters, like for example, a lot of characters, like for example, Valkyrie from Thor Ragnarok and all that stuff. Like Valkyrie is not a black character, okay? Valkyrie is based off of Norse mythology, especially in the Marvel comics. She is about as white as you can get. Norse mythology and like, the Nordic people, that is about as white as you can get. There is no reason to be race swapping anyone at all. I think it's lazy. It shows creative bankruptcy. And that's kind of what we deal with now in this day and age. And maybe that's why people like Jenna Ortega so much, because she can, take on these characters that no one really knows about, like especially Wednesday Addams and like what the Addams family represent, being accepted in a society that isn't, or like kind of blending in with society, like being yourself, being the outcast, but like the outcasts want to be with everyone else. They want to participate in life and participate in, everyday activities without anyone really focusing on like who they are as a family. And that's kind of, I think, what the Wednesday show, Wednesday Addams on Netflix, that they got that extremely wrong. And I think Jenna Ortega knows this. I think she really does know this. And that's why you see like all these articles saying like, this is so unprofessional. She's being so unprofessional with like changing the dialogue and trying to make sense of the script, because you can tell like just based on like how the show, if you ever decide to watch it, which I wouldn't recommend it honestly, but if you want to, be a TikTok normie and just say, hey, you should watch this because I saw it on TikTok, dumbass. It's like, okay, thanks, I guess. But if you want to, watch that, go for it. But just know that that shit is made for normies that do not care about the source material. It's pandering to the lowest common denominator of all time, and it's not you're pandering to an audience that isn't going to stick with you long term. They're going to move on to the next TikTok trend, and then they're going to forget about Wednesday Addams. I mean, look at what's happening with The Mandalorian right now. Like, people are forgetting about that show. It was trending for a while, and now it's just like no one's talking about the episodes that are releasing weekly. And I think that's what's going to happen with anything like regarding Jenna Ortega, like anything she's starring in. I think people are going to get tired of that shit. They're going to like, everyone's going to start asking like, what happened? Why did she fall off so hard? It's because, you know what, you normies out there, you don't stick with anything long term. You do the short term shit. That's why you like the short term shit. You like that 6-second dopamine, and then you get over it very quickly. And it's like, well, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? What happened to my big booty Latinas? Or actually, in this case, it's not. It's just what happened to Jenna Ortega. I feel like I have this instinct that like Jenna Ortega knows this, and that's why she's trying to adapt to like just films instead of just TV shows or like normie shit. Because films, like, you can, create new experiences, and like create original ideas or like implement original ideas in people and new inspirations. And I think she does know that from like an actress's standpoint or an actor's standpoint, because like I'm a film student. Like I've been involved in this world for a little bit, and I understand that like forming your craft and stuff is one of the. I mean, it's a very complex and challenging concept. You have to balance so many certain things, and you're like trying to maintain your artistic integrity, and getting inspiration from others without copying them exactly. And that's one of the hardest things you can do in this industry. And maybe that's why I'm kind of drawn to Jenna Ortega in a way. Like, I thought she was overrated. I mean, I still kind of do, but I'm starting to see like little bits and pieces of why maybe there is an appeal to this. Maybe like the Gen Z era, because I feel like most Gen Zers, maybe not most, but some people that are into this, this like new stuff, like they want original stuff. Like they look towards anime. Because anime has like a lot of different, like there's like so many different anime that has, a lot of newer inspirations for, American cinema. And like, I think most filmmakers are kind of catching on to this. It's like, you can't keep doing the same cape shit, like Marvel formula, theme park ride stuff over and over. Like you have to switch it up and like create new things, get new ideas, get new inspiration, start talking to people, start forming new ideas. I'm oh God, this podcast stuff. That's getting redundant now. But you know what? I think that is kind of the appeal. I think people like the idea of like someone like Jenna Ortega who comes across as so relatable when you see her in these interviews, like Hot Ones. I guess anything with BuzzFeed, which is garbage. Or just like anything with her, like just acting, human essentially. I think people do cling to that in some way, but then you have the normies that ruin it, which I'm not a normie. I'm not that. I'm not it. But anyways, I did see Scream 6 recently, which has Jenna Ortega in it, but I just thought I'd rant like the very last few seconds that I have for this podcast, because I'm going to end it here. I cannot keep talking forever about this show before it gets just super redundant. But I went to go see Scream 6 either last weekend or a couple weekends ago at my local AMC theater. And of course, I got to, they showed like a bazillion different previews before any movie at any AMC theater. They show like dozens of previews and commercials, ads for ads, all that stuff before you actually get to watch the movie. But then you also have the fortunate experience of watching that Nicole Kidman ad where she's like, it's like when you go to the cinema and it's that indescribable feeling when the lights begin to dim. That memeable stuff, that memeable dialogue that you get to hear deliver before you watch a movie or before the lights dim. And I was like, because I think AMC agreed to partner with her again. Like they made some agreement to make more ads with her, make like another ad with her, because it's so popular according to garbage news sites. But other than that, I was like, here's my idea, AMC. You should take my idea. Like, and I expect royalties later for this, but if you're like, yeah, that indescribable feeling of how Nicole Kidman got into the Hollywood industry, that indescribable feeling of like knowing who her dad was, or like the theories around why he was on the run from a certain thing. I can't insinuate anything without getting sued, so we'll just say go do your research about Nicole Kidman's dad, and especially with Eyes Wide Shut. Just look into how she got that role for Eyes Wide Shut with Stanley Kubrick. It's kind of bizarre. I'm not saying it's 100% true, but there may or may not be some validity to that story with this certain ring that I can't say, or else YouTube is gonna get rid of this video and they're gonna be like, get the fuck out of here, get the fuck out. We're not gonna allow this podcast ever. But no, that's AMC should really consider my idea for their new ad that I get to watch before, watching those fantastic movies in a fantastic theater, which, And speaking of the theater experience, I had the privilege of getting to hear someone yell in a theater room like towards the ending of the movie of Scream 6. I got to hear this woman be like, it was a really weird looking bunch. It made no sense. I'm like, these people don't look like they actually hang out with each other. But I guess they do, because, you know, what would I know? I'm not human. I'm not human at all. I don't talk to people. I don't hang out with people. What's wrong with you? No. But I was watching, it was me and my sister that were at the theater, and these people sat next to us. Like, there was like so much room in the theater room, like the auditorium. They had all this space. Like, there was hardly anyone in the room, but they had the gall and audacity to like walk up to where we were and just like, they were sat pretty close to us. We're like, you had all this space and you chose to sit like right next to us. Like, are you stupid? Do you have any decency? Which a lot of people don't these days. I'm about to get into that. And so, you know, we're sitting there, and it's getting to the climax of the movie, and somebody's getting scared. Like, I don't know if somebody's kid was getting scared or whatever, but I guess a mom or dad, I couldn't remember which one it was, but they were walking their daughter out, and this girl gets up, and she's like making a scene in the theater, and she's like, "Why the fuck did you bring your daughter to this? This is a fucking scary movie. It's way past her bedtime." And like, it's like, dude, she kept yelling it. It's like, why do you feel the need to yell like in the theater room? Like, that is not the place to do that. Go do that somewhere else. And when she does that, I think it got so bad that I didn't see this happen, but I'm guessing someone left the theater room, someone else that was like, I guess, beneath us or like on the lower level of the auditorium. They left and they went to go get an usher, one of the ushers from AMC, and the usher came in, and he like went up to where the girl that was yelling at the mom and daughter, he went up to her and he was like, "Hey, if you don't keep it down, we're gonna have to escort you out." And the girl was like getting upset at the dude. She was like cussing and stuff like that, and just getting super angry at him. It's like, dude, he didn't say like leave immediately. He's like, if you can't keep it down, you need to leave. Like, he was being reasonable with you, and you decided to yell at him and act like he was in the wrong. And then eventually she did finally shut up, and she was like, "Fuck it, I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet." It was like, holy shit, like, dude, he was not in the wrong. You were disrupting the peace. Shit. Why are you acting? Oh gosh. Honestly, I'm starting to get why people aren't really going to the cinemas now. It's kind of become a cope at this point. I still go because I do have a good time with, you know, friends and family. Well, then it's like the matinee showing, but this was later at night. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea to go at night, especially in a ghetto part of town. But, oh gosh, if this is what we have to deal with, I understand why people want to stay home and just, you know, order their movies online. I get it. I get it now. If the theater chains need to die out, so be it. But granted, I don't want them to, especially like mom and pop, or like the local owned theaters. I like those. You don't really have any problems at the locally owned, or the family owned theaters. But yeah, you do have that problem at like the chain, like AMC, Cinemark, and you know, wherever other cinemas other cinema chains there are. But yeah, that's just just shut your mouth. Quit making a scene everywhere you go. Like, no one wants to hear your shit at all. It's annoying. It's annoying. Okay. But I think I've talked long enough. We went from Jenna Ortega to the theater experience. I mean, dude, you know, maybe this podcasting idea is a good idea. Maybe people just, you know, need to get out their natural thoughts. Just get out your natural thoughts. I didn't really script this. I mean, I wrote a couple notes down. You can't see it because this is audio only. It's audio only. But I'm gonna end this off with y'all can answer this in the comments below. But what are we thinking of Jenna Ortega? Is she good, bad? I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent. Just end this off like a Soups video, and I'll put a picture up there if you don't know who Soups is or like what that entails. But basically, Soups is like into Cape shit, which I haven't heard. I have not heard anything from this dude in a while. I have not heard anything from him, which is kind of strange because I used to see this dude on my TikTok timeline. I know I'm a bit of a degenerate right now. I'm working on it, I'm trying to get away from TikTok and just go back to YouTube Shorts. Which, by the way, hope you guys are enjoying that. The Jenna Ortega YouTube short did numbers. Clearly, some of y'all like that and some of y'all don't. I respect either side. But it kind of prompted me to make this video, this nonsensical video. And y'all can tell me how nonsensical you thought this episode was, or maybe I should keep doing more of these. And granted, I'm gonna get a little more organized with my content. But no, this is fun. This is kind of fun. Maybe I get the appeal of podcasts, or maybe this shouldn't exist. Nah, but y'all can type in the comments below. How we feeling? How we feeling, guys? How we feeling? Good, bad, kind of indifferent. You don't take a position on anything. It's all fun. It's supposed to be fun. I wish I had a co-host, but I don't. Because I have no friends. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. All right, I'm going to end this off here. Like this video. Dislike it. I can't wait to find out in the YouTube studio, or when I go to check out the audience demographics on how y'all like this content. Are 18 to 44-year-olds going to get pressed by this content? Which, by the way, when I made the Marvel stuff for like the YouTube shorts for, just making fun of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Kevin Feige, apparently 30-plus-year-old men got really pressed by my content, according to my analytics. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, grown-ass men were getting pressed by my content. That honestly, that is just so funny to me. It's so funny. But peace out. Have a good one. And I'll catch you in the next podcast episode. Or not. All right, see y'all.
Doing